We're going to talk about Grails today, so let's get cracking. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lauren, and this is Lauren's Toy Box, where we talk all things toys. So if you like that kind of content, I'd love it if you would take a moment to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, hit that bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help me out. So today we are going to talk about my most wanted grails. Now, this is not an idea that I came up with. I saw this on Enzo's show on The Junk Drawer, which is another channel that if you aren't watching that channel, you should definitely check that out, The Junk Drawer. He does a lot of really great toy unboxings and just chats, live chats and things like that are really fun. But anyway, one day he did a video on Grails, and I thought, now that is a great idea because I have so many Grails that I want to get, and so little money to get them. So let's go ahead and start off with, I think my number one Grail is Dragoon from the Shogun Warriors, which was a line in the 1970s of these Japanese mecha. There was Mazinga, Raideen, and Dragoon. I have Raideen. There was also Gai King, and I'm not sure if there were others, but there was a Godzilla as well. And Godzilla is actually the one most people want, but I want Dragoon. He was my second favorite Shogun Warrior, and I would really love to add him to my collection. They are going anywhere from $250, which would be incomplete, to $400 complete. And so they are worth quite a lot of money. So it'll be a while before I would be able to get that Dragoon. Next, I have Cha-Cha, who is one of the My Little Pony friends. Cha-Cha is a llama, so she's not a pony herself. I saw her on eBay anywhere from $130 to $200. But she is the cutest thing, and I would love to add her to my collection. Also, Oakley the Moose. He's also a one of the My Little Pony friends. Again, a moose. And I've only seen one of him on eBay, and he was worth $249. So those are two of the My Little Pony friends that I really want to add to my collection one day. Okay, another toy line from the 1980s was called Food Fighters, and they had different variants. And one of them is a variant of Chip the Ripper, who is a chocolate chip cookie. And instead of being chocolate chip, he is a chocolate macadamia or white chocolate cookie. He is worth $175. And I just think that he's so cool looking. And I would really love to add him to my collection, but that one will be a long time in the making. Next, we have Bionatops. I want a complete Bionatops. I have one. I have one that has no accessories and only one horn. And I love him, but I would love to get a complete Bionatops. Bionatops was from later on in Masters of the Universe, and it was supposed to be part of a new series called The Power of Grayskull, which would take place on Preternia, and you would have these cybernetic dinosaurs roaming around. So you had him and Turbodactyl, and I can never pronounce the name of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. But anyway, as you know, I love the ceratopsian dinosaurs, and Bionatops is a Triceratops, and I really want him complete. He's going for about $250 on eBay right now. So I hope to get him one day. All right, next we have from the toy series Mask. Mask was about these people with masks that had different abilities that allowed you to do different things. And they rode these like really cool cars. And the one that I want the most is called Rhino. It is a truck. Just I don't know what you call the driving part of the truck. There wasn't really, I don't think there was really a back area of the truck. But anyway, I really want that. And it comes with two figures, Matt Stryker and Bruce Sato. And so I want to get the Rhino that is complete with the two figures. The two figures is the most important part to me. But that Rhino is worth about $350 complete. So it'll be a while before I get that one. Okay, next we have the Secret Wars Falcon, who I want complete. So he has to have his wings, and he has to have the shield, and he has to have Red Wing. I really want that Falcon complete. Falcon is one of my favorite Marvel characters. I loved his original 70s costume, which is what he wears in the Secret Wars. And he's worth anywhere from $150 to $180. And I think the $180 has both the Red Wing and the shield. So I really want those. Okay, next up, we have a couple of Monster High dolls. Monster High put out these dolls that were representations of the Universal monsters. So, as you know, as you can see over here, this is my Creature from the Black Lagoon collection. The Creature from the Black Lagoon is one of my favorite Universal monsters. And so I really want that one. It's kind of I guess, a takeoff on Laguna Blue, instead of being like an actual representation of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. But I think that she looks absolutely beautiful. And she is going for about $190 on eBay. And next up, the other Monster High Universal Monsters set that I want is the Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein. Now, these look more like actual representations of the Universal monsters. I think that they look incredible. Even more than the Creature of the Black Lagoon one, I think that these two are perhaps two of the best Monster High dolls in all of the collection. And they are going anywhere from $275 to $300. Next, I have up one that isn't too far out of my range. And it is something that is still on Mattel Creations. That is the Masters of the Universe and James Jean, He-Man, and Battle Cat. I collect He-Man and Battle Cat. I have them from the original 2000X. I have the Masterverse one. I have Adam and Cringer. I have the new Kids Core one. So I have a little bit of a collection of He-Man and Battle Cat, and I would really love to add this one to my collection for sure. And he is going for $100 on Mattel Creations right now. Okay, next up is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. This is Dr. L. I would love to have him complete. He is also a little more in my range. He is worth about $89, but I love an elephant, and I think that he looks so cool looking as part of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line, so I really want him in my collection. And then next up, I want a complete Steve Rogers $6 million man action figure. Now, in the 70s, action figures were much taller, anywhere from 12 to like 14 inches. They were looked more like dolls. And I just think that I would love to add him. I have a Bionic Woman in my collection. A complete Steve Rogers is worth about $146. I would be willing to take something a little less complete, but he has to at least have the shoes. And you can usually find somewhere in the $80 range for one that doesn't have the construction beam that comes with Steve Rogers. Okay, so next up is from Star Wars. This is the Princess Leia from The Return of the Jedi, she wore the outfit that she wore on Endor. She has to have the complete poncho in order for me to want this figure. Because I just think that that's what really completes her look, is the poncho. But finding one with the poncho really boosts up the price for this figure. She goes for about $130 on eBay. But I really want this figure for sure. I have a small collection of Princess Leia action figures, so I want this figure for sure. Okay, so next up we have some Thundercats. These are the later figures. They're not part of the main line. This would be Pumira, Jaga, and Linkso. Pumira goes for about $150 without accessories to $300 with accessories. I would be fine having one without accessories, although it would be nice to have her accessory. Then the next one is Jaga, and Jaga is worth about $325 complete. And then finally, we have Linkso. Linkso I've seen going for anywhere from $100 incomplete to $400 complete. And again, I don't necessarily need the accessories. So if I really wanted to get him, I would go for one without the accessories. All right, next up, we have a couple of She-Ra dolls. These are the two most expensive She-Ra dolls. They came later on in the series, and they are Spinnerella and Netossa. Spinnerella is going for about $480 on eBay right now, and that is with her skirt. I'm not sure how much she's going without her skirt. but she is going for 480 with the skirt. The skirt is kind of what makes her. So you almost need that skirt. Otherwise, she just kind of looks like your average She-Ra doll. And then we have Netosa, and Netosa is going for about $250 to $320 complete. And again, if I were going to invest that much money, I would get the complete, because that, again, really completes her look. Her power is the power of the net. And so you definitely would need the netting for that action figure. Okay, then we have the Ewok Tree House, which was by, I believe, Fisher-Price, done in the 1980s. It looks like the old Fisher-Price tree house, painted yellow, and with Ewoks. And it just looks really cool. I want the complete set, and a complete set right now is going for $150 on eBay. I really want that whole playset. And then finally, we have a Silverhawk. This is Silverhawk Steelheart. Steelheart was the female character on the show. I would love to have her complete, and she is going for $200 on eBay complete. So those are all of the items on my gray list. I know there are a lot, but I'm always keeping an eye out for any of these action figures or toys or play sets. I would love to know in the comments below, do you have any Grails that you are in search of? And have you been close to achieving that Grail? Let me know in the comments below. And let me know which one of my Grails is your favorite. Like, which one of my Grails would you want as part of your collection? Anyway, that is it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed kind of putting together the research for these Grails and trying to figure out what their pricing was. I just knew that I wanted them, but just looking at the prices is a little daunting. Anyway, if you enjoyed this content, I would love it if you would take a moment to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Hit that bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help me out with the algorithm. And with that, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you later. Bye!